Political party versus mass revolutions. My friend, the Constitution is the ultimate mass revolution in this country. The Constitution was not signed by the Governor General of the country at that time. The Constitution was given by the people of India unto themselves. And merely the Constituent Assembly members signed it. It was a deliberate and conscious choice. If you simply make the Constitution accessible to everybody, not in terms of a book, but in terms of the constitutional values and its goals, it's the greatest revolution you can think of. No country on earth was transformed by bloodshed. If you're thinking of India being transformed by bloodshed, forget it. We don't require it because we have tremendous space to do it by good sense, not by bloodshed. All it takes is for all of us to realize that we can do simple things like voting, for instance, like standing by each other, for instance, like supporting a cause, for instance. Why do you have to take to the gun and then die? It doesn't happen that way. If some of us have such thoughts, please erase them from your minds. It's not going to happen that way. It's only going to lead to more strife in the country. Reservations. Given India's condition, we do require affirmative action policies. Make no mistake about that. For centuries, there's oppression. Even today, birth determines the future of the bulk of the people of the country. Therefore, any starting point for resolving this dilemma must be with this recognition that birth and birth alone is determining the fate of millions of Indians. Only a small percentage of people is able to come out of that disadvantage of birth. But reservation is merely a short-term reparation. It's not a solution. The tragedy of India is that the political class, after some time, started pretending that this is the solution. And therefore, neither the communities that get reservation benefit, nor the people that do not get, is happy. Both are deeply unhappy. It's a classic case. Only in India we can achieve this miracle. Both parties feel totally aggrieved. So what is the solution? A, 12 years of guaranteed English education. Start with the mother tongue, but eventually move towards English. 12 years of quality English education for every single child as an entitlement with public and private participation, but with public resources. It is fully achievable. It's not easy, but who said that doing fundamental things is easy in this country or anywhere in the world for that matter? But it is an article of faith for Lok Satta Party. B, today in the name of reservations, it is the collector's son and the minister's daughter who get the benefit. The truly poor in these sections, truly disadvantaged, don't have any opportunity really, because 98% of the disadvantaged children do not even finish school. So what is the reservation there? For whom are we fighting? Among whom is the fight? And within the reserved communities now increasingly there is strife, like Malas and Madigas in Andhra Pradesh, Gurjas and Meenas. I'm sure many of you know the problem. Do you all know? Meenas are scheduled tribe. In my batch in the IAS, there were 3 Meenas who were blood brothers. It's the first and probably the only time in history when 3 brothers born to the same father but not the same mother, they were all in the same batch of the IAS. One is in Madhya Pradesh, one is in Bihar, one is in Rajasthan now. They're a very progressive community. Somehow they were classified as tribals. Gurjars are backward classes. Suddenly somebody made the Jats backward classes in Rajasthan. So Gurjars felt threatened because they would now lose the opportunity among backward classes. So they started saying we want to be scheduled tribes. Meenas feel threatened that they will lose the opportunity. Now both are on warpath. What a ridiculous thing. And Delhi is paralyzed because of that. And it's going to be paralyzed again. It's going to be the central issue in Rajasthan election next. Take my word. In 2008, that's the way politics is played. We ought to be ashamed. The answer lies in removing this opportunity to those who already got benefit in a significant measure and making sure that only the people who deserve the opportunity, they get it. The third, what about the sections which are not reserved? Economic backwardness. Either poverty or rural upbringing must be recognized as sources of economic backwardness, and you cannot now add to reservations. Good or bad, 50% cap, Supreme Court, and all sorts of things are there. But you can do some more intelligent things. Give a weightage. Let us say you give a weightage of 10% marks in a competitive examination for higher education or a job. 10% marks will radically alter the ranking. Now, a kid who gets 70% from a poor rural family, in my judgment, is far superior to a collector's kid with 80% marks in the city. So you're not really diluting merit. You're recognizing the debility, provided you actually make sure that that line is carefully designed and you measure it carefully, honestly. You give that opportunity irrespective of caste. Everybody gets it. The weightage. Therefore, there is a benchmark. It's not a quota. Unless you go to a certain level, you can't really get anything. So you have to aspire for something, and yet you have a handicap. And finally, nobody shall be denied higher education up to any level for want of means, provided there is the desire and the competence. Today, hundreds of thousands have no chance of higher education, even if they're otherwise very meritorious. And the state can easily afford that. All this is fully affordable. And you have a solution that really addresses the problem. And eventually a stage will come when reservations are no longer required. It finds an answer to itself. Do politicians want to find a solution of this kind? No. Then where is the vote bank? Only when I break up communities and say I am for you and he is for them, and both communities go for these two fellows, and whoever comes ultimately will fleece both of them. Only when such a system continues will they have the advantage. There are clear answers. Sometimes the cultivated ignorance is amazing. It is not because there are no solutions. Reservations is a vexed problem, but it is amenable to simple solutions. And this package broadly that I outlined is something that nobody can argue with seriously. You can fine-tune it, you can improve it. But it satisfies all requirements of a fair and equitable system of affirmative action. Politics and job, office of profit. Office of profit is a term applicable only to government positions. If you take money from government as an employment,